Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing some backyard makeover stuff that we did a few weeks ago. We did this over a course of about a month. We just did some random projects and I thought I would go ahead and share it with you guys. If you guys are interested in seeing how we kind of spruced up our yard and we did a bit of gardening, we added some fruits and veggies back there, then just keep watching. Here are the seeds that we're going to be planting today. We're going to plant some sweet corn, some cantaloupe, Brussels sprouts, lettuce. I found this lettuce tape, so hopefully that'll be easy to plant. Watermelon. We actually have another watermelon, and then we're going to plant some radishes, carrots. We have this cute little carrot pop that I'll show you in a second too. Cucumbers. We've got some more corn and some basil. And this is the carrot pop I was just telling you guys about. And then we're going to have a separate garden with our herbs. So basil, we have 2 packs of that. And then we're also going to plant some parsley, cilantro, spearmint, red jalapeno peppers, and green jalapeno peppers. So those are what we're planting today. So the first thing that we worked on was our garden beds. We actually made these garden beds last year during summer. We just used some wood that we got from Lowe's, cut it up, and made 2 boxes on the ground. We took the grass out where we put it down and then added some soil, and right now we're just kind of cleaning out the weeds and using a rake to soften the soil. We ended up not planting anything in these last year, so this is actually I take it back. We have some green onions that we planted in here last year that we actually moved from the strawberry box, which you guys will see later on because the strawberries took over. But other than that, we didn't plant any new plants in here. So this is the first time we are planting seeds in these garden beds. So we just wanted to get them cleaned out really well so that there's nothing in here when we plant our seeds. Once we finished cleaning out the beds, we went ahead and started planting our seeds. We just kind of planned out where we were going to put everything based on the directions on the package. So these are radishes that we're planting right now. And then we also ended up putting some carrots in this box, as well as some Brussels sprouts and lettuce. So that is everything that we're planting in this first box. And for the lettuce, we actually bought these seed tapes that we found at Home Depot, which was really cool because lettuce seeds are super small. So all you have to do is bury the tape, and it was super easy. So if you have a plant that you're trying to plant that has a very small seed, those might be worth the extra money. I think it was an extra $2 to get the tape, but it was really easy to plant. And right now what we're planting is the carrot pop stick thing that we got last year. My daughter really wanted to plant this, so we're letting her plant that. It was super easy. We just stuck it in with the stick sticking up, and then you fill it with water until the ball kind of opens up, and then that's it. You just let it sit there and water it just like you would any of the other seeds. here is where we were planting the lettuce stakes that I was telling you guys about. So you can see that it's just one long strip and you tear it off the length that you need. And it's super easy. You just make one long row and it's done. So in between our two garden boxes, we have a really small planter box that my daughter painted last year. We had tomatoes in here, but we decided to take them out. They were dead, and we're putting in this snow pea plant that we actually started in our house a few weeks ago. So we already have a trellis in this little planter, and so we thought this would be the perfect place to put the snow peas. So that's what my husband is working on right now, and then while he's doing that, I'm going to clean out the second box and get that ready for the other seeds. In the second box, we're putting corn. We have the green onions in there, and then we also put some cucumber, and we're going to plant our tomatoes in that one. So here we're just showing you that my husband planted the snow peas, and he's just kind of helping the stems go onto the trellis so that they'll grow up on it and not like through our fence or anything. I don't know if I mentioned it yet, we're not expert gardeners or anything, so hopefully this is the right thing to do. We're just trying to go based on the directions that were on the packages. So I'm showing you all of the little seeds that we just planted, and yeah, we watered them all, got them all put in there, and they're good to go. So a few other plants we have is this peach tree we planted last year. We didn't do anything new with that. And then we have our cactus garden and our strawberry garden, which the strawberries survived the winter. We didn't do anything there, and we planted some herbs. Alright guys, so it's been a week since we planted all of our fruits and veggies in the garden beds. We also planted our herbs, and we ended up planting some sunflowers. We actually saw this thing on Pinterest of like a big sunflower tent sort of thing. So the idea is that once the sunflowers grow, they'll kind of create like a tent with their petals and everything. So we attempted to do that. They're starting to sprout, so I will show you guys that in a second. We also rearranged our patio a little bit, our porch, and added a pool, so that's fun. We're gonna go ahead and clean off the patio today, and we are going to pull up some weeds in our flower bed by the window, which I'll also show you. And then in the back by the fire pit, we are going to put the edgers that we put in last year. They've fallen over and got messed up, so we're just going to kind of dig them down and make sure that they're really stuck in there so that they won't fall over again. And we're going to water all of our plants and just check on them and see how everybody is doing. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and start by showing you guys what we have. So here's what our patio is looking like. We had the furniture underneath our pergola. The pergola we got from Aldi last year. I've shown it in another video. Ignore the mess on the patio. We need to clean it all up. But we added the pool and moved the furniture. And then this garden bed we're going to redo. It floods every time it rains, so I'm going to take some of this mulch out and clean it up a little bit and just get rid of some of the weeds around here. And then over on the other side of the yard is where the edging needs to be fixed. So this fire pit area we did last summer as well. And this front line of edging, we didn't put it in very well, and it started to fall over. So we're going to kind of dig it down and make sure that it won't fall over anymore. We're going to add some more white rock in this area around the fire pit, as well as some more red mulch around it. And then this garden bed in the back, we cleaned out the weeds, and we're going to clean it out a little bit more and add some wildflower seeds that we got from Home Depot. So I already put some in here, and you can see that they're starting to sprout a little bit, but I decided to add a few more. So that is what we're doing in this back corner. This is some lavender that we planted last year. We actually had this in pots when we first got it, and it just did really well. So we planted in this back corner, and it's just done so well back there. This is a tree we got from an Earth Day festival a couple years ago, and it's doing really well as well. We have another tree on the other side that's not doing so great, but it's getting some of its leaves now. And this is the sunflower fort that I was telling you about. So we just kind of dug out a spiral in the grass and planted a bunch of sunflowers around it. And the idea is that hopefully they will grow really tall and we'll create some kind of fort. And we left a space open so that once it does grow, our kids can get through the little opening and stuff. So hopefully it will turn out the way it looked on Pinterest, and that will be really fun. And then over here by the garden, we planted the herbs in the last couple clips you guys saw, and they have not grown. So we're probably going to replant those into different planters. And then this is the strawberry garden. The strawberries are coming back. We're starting to get some flowers, which means we're going to get some strawberries soon. And our cactus garden is doing really well. Over in our garden beds, the cucumbers started coming up, our green onions are doing really well, and the corn started coming up. Our snow peas have struggled a little bit, but they're doing okay. I think they need a little bit more water, so we've been trying to water them a little bit more. And we've also seen some of the carrots, lettuce, and radishes come up, so that's really exciting. So now we are moving on to the work that we need to get done. My husband is going to work on the edging. He's just pulling up all of the bricks that we had laid out, and then we also had put down a black generic lawn edging piece to keep the grass from growing into the mulch. So he's taking that up so that we can dig down a little bit further and get these bricks secured in there so they won't keep falling. While my husband was working on the edging, I went ahead and cleaned up around the fire pit. I pulled as many of the weeds as I could. We have some wild berries growing underneath the fence. Behind our fence line is like forest, and the roots started to come into our yard, so we're starting to get some crazy weeds and berries. So I was trying to clean that up a little bit because it's kind of messing up our edging and our mulching and stuff. So that is what I'm doing. And my husband's using an edger to kind of dig down in the ground so that we can get those bricks in there. Now while he's still working on that, I decided to go ahead and move on to this little garden bed underneath our window. So I started by moving everything out of my way. This container I got from Aldi a couple years ago, and this is where we keep the kids' toys. I love it. I think it looks really nice, and it's just a nice way to hide all of their stuff. We had put down weed barrier in this area last year when we did it, and I think that's what's causing a lot of the flooding, is not enough water is going through. So I decided to pull that up, and we're just going to clear out this side At first I was just going to put the mulch back and add some flowers, but you'll see in a second I actually decided to move all the mulch that was on the left side of our AC unit, just because when it floods it just gets everywhere, and I figured if I tried to plant plants right there, it would be hard for them to come through the mulch and stuff, so we just decided to get rid of the mulch. We're going to see how the flowers do in this area, and then if we decide to, we can always add mulch later, but I ended up just taking it and using my wheelbarrow to move it to a different section of the yard. I just added it around the fire pit, so that is what I decided to do in this area. So for the flowers that I'm planting over here, we got this like rolled up thing of hummingbird and butterfly flower seeds. So I decided to try using that in this area. I had to redo it a couple times because I forgot that we were going to have the toy storage back there, so we ended up having to move it, and it was very fragile. So if you're going to do this, try to just put it in one spot and not move it again after that. And then also you're supposed to put soil on top, and we didn't realize until we started doing this project that we didn't have soil, and so we just kind of did with what we had at the time. You can see we moved the flowers up a little bit, and then I ended up sprinkling some of this extra wildflower seeds that I had left over, just because I had kind of messed up the roll, and so I'm hoping that'll fix the problem. And then I just watered it really good, and that was pretty much all we did for this garden bed. Alright, so it is a couple weeks since I showed you guys the last few clips, and I just wanted to show you how everything turned out. Here you can see we are definitely getting some sprouts. Our radishes came up. We have a few carrots that are coming up. The lettuce is slowly starting to sprout. I don't really know if you're going to be able to see it, but we have really tiny little lettuce leaves coming up. We have a couple of the Brussels sprouts that sprouted, and our snow peas are doing okay. Our corn. Our corn sprouted really well, and our green onions are still doing really well, and our cucumber sprouted. We also added some tomatoes, you can see there, and then those are watermelon in the pot. Our peach tree started getting leaves, and we have little baby peaches growing, which is really exciting. We've had this tree for about 1.5 years, and it's the first time it started flowering. So we're really happy about that. The cactus garden is looking good, and we are also getting lots of strawberries. They haven't turned red yet, but they are definitely coming out. Our herb garden did not grow. I'm not sure what happened there. I think it was the type of soil we had it planted in, so we're going to try again in different pots with some good soil. All of our sunflowers are sprouting, and they look so good. I'm excited for them to start getting really tall and flower. I think it's going to look really cool. And then this tree filled out a lot. It looks really nice. We added all of the rock like I showed you guys, or told you guys we were going to do, and added some mulch. And the edging looks so much better now that we got it dug in. It looks nice and straight. It's not falling over. So I'm really happy with how all of that turned out. We cleaned up a lot of the weeds around here, and then we also cleaned up the weeds in the back. Our wildflowers are sprouting, which is exciting. I'm excited to start seeing them start to flower. The lavender is flowering a lot. This crepe myrtle tree is doing really well too. I'm trying to show you guys some of the little wildflowers. I don't think I showed it in any of the previous clips, but there was a plant over here that we took out. And here is that tree that I was telling you about earlier that wasn't doing so well. It's definitely got a lot more leaves now. Still not doing great, but it is doing okay. And then as far as this garden bed under the window, this was a struggle. We had a lot of rain the other day and it washed out a lot of the flowers that we had growing here. You can see that there's still some sprouts and one of our trees is doing pretty well, but it's just kind of a mess. If it doesn't come through, we're just going to end up adding mulch back to this area. We have a few extra bags and we're just going to give up on the plants. But overall, here is what the backyard looks like. We're really happy with how it's looking. I'm really excited about the work that we've done and how it all came together. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one.